Hey friends, welcome to our third video on our video series dealing with amendments made in relation to filing return of income of a trust for AY 22-23. This is our third video. In our first and second video, we have dealt with major changes which are to be kept in mind while computing taxable income. Now we are into the third video. In this video, for ease of understanding, the trust which claim exemptions, I would divide them into three categories. Category 1 would be applicable to a trust which are claiming exemption under section 1023C, clause 3IAB, 3IAC, 3IAD and 3IAE. Category number 2, in which I will parking those trusts which are claiming exemption under section 1023C clause 4, 5, 6 and 6A. And category number 3 are those where the trust claim exemption under section 11 and 12. Now, let us first deal with the trusts which are covered or which are eligible to claim exemption under section 1023C clause 3IA, B, 3IAC, 3IAD and 3IAE. I repeat, clause section 10 clause 23C, subclause section 10 clause 23C, subclause 3IAB, 3IAC, 3IAD and 3IAE. Section 10 clause 23C, clause subclause 3IAB and 3IAD are applicable to an educational institute existing solely for the purpose of education and not for the purpose of profit. Whereas 1023C subclause section 10 clause 23C subclause 3IAC and 3IAE are applicable to hospitals which are not for the purpose of profit, which are for philanthropic purposes. Now let's go in a slightly greater detail. 1023C 3IAB is applicable to an educational institute which are not for the purpose of profit, which is solely for the purpose of education and which are wholly or substantially financed by the government. Now, when they can be said to be wholly and substantially financed by the government, the trust and institutions are eligible for exemption under section 1023C, 3IAB or 3IAC only if government grants received is more than 50% of total receipts, including voluntary contribution. So this is we spoke about 1023C, 3IAB, which is applicable to an educational institution solely for education purpose, not for profit, wholly and substantially financed by government grants, then your income is exempt. 1023C 3IAD is also applicable to an educational institution which is not wholly and substantially financed by the government, which is not for the purpose of profit and which is solely for educational purposes, and its receipt do not exceed 5 crore rupees. So an university or an educational institution running under a trust where the gross receipt including voluntary contribution does not exceed 5 crore rupees, in that particular case they are eligible to claim exemption under section 1023C clause 3, section 10 clause 23C subclause 3IAD, provided they are not for profit, they are for educational purposes, they are not financed only and substantially financed by government, and receipts do not exceed 5 crore rupees. If receipts exceed 5 crore rupees but they are wholly and substantially financed by the government, or let's say if receipts do not exceed 5 crore but then also they are supposed to be they are wholly and substantially financed by the government, in that case they are eligible for benefit under 1023C 3IAB. Similarly, in case of a hospital where irrespective of the gross receipt, which are there for philanthropic purposes, but they are wholly and substantially financed by the government, they are covered by 1023C 3IAC and their income is exempt, provided they should be for philanthropic purposes and wholly and substantially financed by the government. Clause 1023C 3IAE, sorry, AD, sorry, 3IAE, I'm sorry, 3IAE is also applicable to a hospital, which are for philanthropic purposes and not for the purpose of profit, and gross receipt do not exceed 5 crore rupees. Now, in those cases, in those categories, the first category which I'm talking about, in these cases, their income is exempt. They are not supposed to apply 85% of their total income. They are not supposed to invest their accumulations into a particular modes. They are not supposed to file form number 10B. They are supposed to file ITR 7 only. They are also not supposed to give various kind of breakups and like the problems of schedule D and J, which we are going to face or which we are going to deal with while filing return of income when we are claiming exemption under section 11 and 12. Nothing doing. It is going to be a very simple case. So if you are a school or if you are a hospital which is being run under a trust and your gross receipt does not exceed 5 crore rupees, or let's say your receipt exceeds 5 crore rupees, but you are wholly and substantially financed by the government and you are not for the purpose of profit, you are solely for educational purposes, you are for philanthropic purposes, then you should take the advantage of this section. And mind it, this exemption is available to you. You need not to take any permission from anywhere. You need not to get your books of accounts audited. Yes, you are required to get your books of accounts audited under a trust act, but there is no per se any audit required for getting this exemption. That's what my point over here is. That is one category which we are talking about. Second category is the trusts which are falling under 1023C subclause 4, 10 clause 23C subclause 5, 10 clause 23C subclause 6, and 10 clause 23C subclause 6A. So here section 10 clause 23C clause 4 deals with those funds or institutions which are having charitable objects and which are approved by commissioner or principal commissioner of income tax. 1023C subclause 5 is applicable to the institute, trust or institutions which are there for religious purposes or religious and charitable purposes and which are being approved by principal commissioner of income tax or commissioner of income tax. Then 6 and 6A are applicable to an educational institutes and hospitals which are not covered in the earlier categories we spoke, meaning thereby which are not only and substantially financed by the government and they have receipts in excess of 5 crore rupees, but they are not for the purpose of profit. They are solely for educational purposes, or in case of hospital, they are for philanthropic purposes. Then they are covered over here. Now, if you remember, Finance Act 2022 made some amendments so that consistency can be, or inconsistencies between trust under two regimes can be eliminated. Those two regimes were those trusts which are claiming exemption under section 11-12 and those trusts which are claiming exemption under section 1023C, 4, 5, 6 and 6A. So there you have to take a call whether you want to go with 11-12 or 1023C, 4, 5, 6, 6A. So far as you are wishing to be opted by, so far as you wish to opt for 1023C, 3IAB, 3IAC, 3IAD or 3IAE, then there is no such condition that you cannot take 11-12 or you cannot be governed by, you cannot take the advantage of some other sections and stuff. There is no such conditions over there, meaning thereby even though let's say you are a school running under a trust, receipt does not exceed 5 crore rupees, you are solely for educational purposes, you are not for the purpose of profit, so you are eligible under section 10 clause 23C clause 3IAD, you are eligible for getting all your benefits and exemptions over there. However, you are registered under section 12AB and you are seeking exemption under section 11 and 12. Now let us say for any reasons your exemption is denied. Let's take an example, it is denied on the ground that you are not filed form number 10B in time, or let's take an example, or let's say that you are not followed a particular law which has got an impact on the objects of the trust and your exemptions have been, let's say, denied by all particular reasons, any reasons your exemption has been denied, you would have your alternate claim to be governed by 1023C 3IAD so far as educational institution is concerned, and 3IAE so far as hospital is concerned, provided you are not for the purpose of profit, you are solely for educational purpose, or you are for philanthropic purpose so far as hospital is concerned. So now in this video, let us deal with a case. Let us file a dummy return in case you are you are an educational institution running under a trust, or you are a university or educational institution running under a trust, not wholly and substantially financed by the government, but your receipt does not exceed 5 crore rupees, and you are not for the purpose of profit. So let's see how to file return of income in that particular situation. So let's deal with such kind of one return which I have prepared, and we'll be dealing with that kind of a return for the ease of understanding of the provisions. Now in front of you, there is an Excel utility of ITR7. I have downloaded this utility today only. So this ITR7 utility is there. I have downloaded for today only. It's AY2223. Now first of all, let me take you to the schedule PI. Let me first quickly calculate tax. I have calculated tax. I have generated JSON file. Why did I do this? So that just I can give you a kind of a hint that it is absolutely matching. It is telling the things are generated. So now coming to PI. Now quickly taking you to the relevant sections or relevant data entry fields which we have to enter. The first thing is, yes, I would be saying that I am AOP BOI here in this drop down. I am Public Charitable Trust. Now going to a space under which section I am filing return, I have to select here section 139(4)(c). This is the section which I have to select here. Section 139(4)(c) is the one which I need to select, and then here I need to select 1023C 3IAD, where I want to be governed because I am an educational institution. So I will be governed here 3IAD. So this is the place where I want to govern. Now this sheet is okay. Now I need to go and file schedule ER. I have to file schedule ER, and that is schedule IE4 is the one I need to file. You can see that income and expenditure statement applicable for assessees claiming exemption under 1023C3IAD, 1023C3IAE. I'm supposed to file schedule IE4, so I'm going to schedule IE4 directly. You can see here that they are asking me that what ITR, what purpose, so I can say I'm an education. See, I have selected 3IAD, so they are asking me only that amount. I have to enter the details of the floor, flat, door, block number. So let's say ABC, I'm just writing. Let me do quickly one thing. Let me close this file and let me open one more file. I have got this file ready. Yes, so that would make the things a bit easier for us. Yes, so let me take you to the schedule. Yeah, the same file. I have just closed and opened the same file again. Schedule IE4, I'm sorry, I need to go to schedule IE4. As you can say, education institution, it's ABC building, ABC road, ABC Nagar, ABC city, state so and so, pin code. So this all are dummy entries, but then I need to file schedule IE. Gross annual receipt 1 crore 11 lakh 11,111. Amount applied, I said only 11 lakh 11,111. So my balance accumulated is 1 crore rupees. This is what you can see. My accumulated balance is 1 crore rupees. Now, once again, I'm going to home sheet. I'm going to PI sheet because I opened the file again. I'm validating the sheet. So it is okay. I am calculating tax. Tax is calculated. Generating JSON file. So yes, JSON file is generated as I mentioned. So what I need to do is I need to enter, of course, my basic detail which I discussed with you. Here the education, name of the educational institute that you can see here. I have mentioned home education. That's the name of the school. Charitable and religious, within that the education. Here I have mentioned that section 139(4)(c) is the section that I need to mention, and here I need to mention 1023C4, 1023C triple IAD, so section which I have mentioned over here. You can see that in column number C here. I have done this in column number C. Now you can see that they have mentioned unique number deemed. There is no unique number to be required. I have mentioned the relevant details. Now I go to the audit. I have mentioned the details of audit, that I am not required to get my books of accounts audited. Let us say I may say that I'm required to get my books of accounts audited. That's not a problem. And I can enter the detail over here that under which act, under which trust I am supposed to get my books of accounts audited. I can enter the detail here of that particular, let me say, any other act. You can mention the name under which where you are supposed to get your books of accounts audited, or you can say right now for ease of understanding I'm making it to be no. So, or you can mention the detail under which you are supposed to get the books of accounts audited. Then you can go to schedule I. You can see that that particular schedule is blank. You cannot schedule D where you have got the maximum problem. We will deal with an example, but then this schedule became inactive. You are not supposed to fill anything here. Schedule J, we will deal with that schedule. I have received multiple queries on that as well. We will deal with that schedule. We will fill that schedule, and here also it becomes inapplicable to you if you are an educational institution or a hospital covered under 1023C 3A, 3IAD or E, meaning that by the receipts are less than 5 crore. So this schedule is not applicable. Balance sheet, I have said my corpus donation, other corpus is 1 lakh rupees. I have got income and expenditure account 10 lakh balance, as I mentioned that 11 lakh 11,000 11 lakh 11,111 11 is something around my gross receipts, and I applied 11,000 11 lakh 11,000 rupees I applied, so 1 crore rupees is going to be my surplus. That's my surplus. You can see that this surplus I have invested entire 1 crore rupees in a fixed asset, so I have not invested, so there is not required to be invested in a mode given under section 11.5. I have not invested anything, and remaining 1 lakh I have kept in cash in hand purposefully, just to say that this funds there is no requirement to invest any surplus in a particular mode. I can keep it freely, there is no problem at all. So this is my balance sheet. Schedule LA, I am not supposed to file, no, nothing bother about. Schedule ET, I am not supposed to file. Schedule AI, I am not supposed to file. Right, receipts from main objects, receipts from incidental object, I am not supposed to file because I am not going for anything else. What are my voluntary contribution? Corpus I have received 1 lakh. I have mentioned that amount. Voluntary contribution is 1 lakh, which is a corpus donation. So that details I have entered. Schedule ER, I am not supposed to enter that. Schedule ER where there are all changes that ये आप पैसे कहाँ से spend किए, उसका source क्या है, कॉर्पस से स्पेंड कर रहे हैं या अपने बोरोइंग से स्पेंड कर रहे हैं, अपने खुद के इनकम से स्पेंड करे हुए हैं, करंट ईयर की इनकम से स्पेंड करे हुए हैं, या 15% वाला पुराना जो एक्यूमुलेशन करा हुआ है उससे स्पेंड करे हुए, कुछ ये लोग मुझे यहाँ पर नहीं पूछ रहे हैं. यहाँ पर मुझे पूरा शेड्यूल ही एप्लीकेबल नहीं, मुझे कुछ डालना नहीं है, मैं इसीलिए आपको शेड्यूल में लेकर आया हूँ. शेड्यूल EC, आई एम नॉट सपोज टू फाइल दैट शेड्यूल एज वेल. लेट्स गो अहेड. शेड्यूल IE2 नहीं फाइल करना है, IE3 फाइल नहीं करना है, मुझे स्ट्रेट वे शेड्यूल IE4 फाइल करना है, विच यू कैन सी आई हैव फाइल्ड. शेड्यूल HP, हाउस प्रॉपर्टी का मेरा कोई इनकम नहीं है, सो आई एम नॉट सपोज टू फाइल. शेड्यूल OS, I have, let's say, capital gain income from other source 5 lakhs of, let me for right now let me put it 0. Let's say I don't have, or let's keep it 5 lakhs of rupees. Now let's say schedule CG. So I entered all the details I was supposed to enter. Coming to home, and here if I say that I go here, coming to home, and let's say once again going to PI, let's say once again I am coming here and calculate tax, generate JSON. My JSON file is generated. I'll go to my this schedule, you can say part B PTI. You can go here and you can see that here my exempt income 1 crore 5 lakh is appearing very clearly. These are my exempt income 1 crore 5 lakhs of rupees is appearing in this return of income. So this is how you can go ahead and file return of income. It's absolutely validated one. So we discussed one case where you are claiming exemption under section 1023C 3IAD or 3IAE. This is the one case which we just spoke about. In the next video, we will be taking up a case where we are supposed to file that schedule D, schedule J, and how this numbers needs to be matched. That is what we are planning to do in the next video. I hope that this video would be useful to you. If you have any doubts, queries, suggestions, please feel free to share with me your suggestions, doubts and queries. It would be a pleasure answering all your questions. Please note that all these views are my personal views. You are requested to take your professional advice before you take your final decision. I really I'm really obliged for receiving positive responses from you all. Your suggestions are always welcome. Wishing you all a great time. Thank you very much.